ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सूरये सच्चित सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे। Namaskar. As we all know, this is the day of Mahasamadhi of Sri Swami Vivekananda. As we all know, this day is also observed as Spiritual Independence Day as well as Swami Vivekananda's Workers' Day. I would just like to share the reminiscence or remembrance of Sri Swami Vivekananda's Mahasamadhi Day and the last few moments, few days, how Swami Vivekananda had spent with his holy disciples and devotees. 20th of Ashad 1309, 4th of July 1902. Yes, the day America was celebrating its Independence Day. It was the day a great soul would pass away into Mahasamadhi. Swami Vivekananda, a spiritual genius of commanding intellect and power who crammed immense labor and achievement into his short life. Swami obtained Mahasamadhi at 9:10 p.m. at the age of 39 years and 5 months, fulfilling his own prophecy where Swami said, "Yes, I shall not live to be 40 years old." Just 3 days before his Mahasamadhi, Swami Vivekananda pointed out to one of his disciples, to one of his Gurubai, Swami Premananda, a particular spot on Belur Mutt grounds where he wished his body to be cremated and said to him, "O Swami, a great tapasya and meditation has come upon me, and I'm asking and I'm making ready for all my death." The next day, it was Wednesday, Swami Vivekananda observed Ekadashi. After fasting on Thursday, Swamiji had some fruits and vegetables with his disciples. He poured water over their hands after lunch and dried them with a towel. When his disciples protested, he said, "Don't you know Jesus Christ washed the feet of his holy disciples?" At that moment, someone checked the answer and muted to themselves, but that was the last time and was silent. The words were left unuttered. On the supreme day, it was Friday, Swamiji spent 3 hours in a formal meditation. Later he worshipped. If there were another Vivekananda, then he would have understood what this Vivekananda has done. And yet how many Vivekanandas shall be born in this time? Swamiji asked his disciple Swami Shuddhananda to read a passage from the Yajurveda with a commentary of the well-known expositor. The Swami said that he did not agree with the commentator and exhorted the disciple to give a new interpretations of the Vedic texts. He had his lunch with the members of the mutt, though he usually ate all these days alone due to his illness. Then Swami taught Sanskrit grammar to the brahmacharis for long 3 hours. Later, Swami walked for 2 miles with his Guru Bhai, Swami Premananda, within the mutt grounds, discussing about the Vedic college set up in the mutt. On being asked, "Swamiji, why this Vedic college?" Swamiji replied, "A Vedic college is needed just to kill the superstition." It was so spontaneous. On his return, Swamiji inquired about each member of the mutt, discussed with them on the rise and fall of the nations. Later, Swamiji said, "You know what? India is immortal. If she persists in her search for God, but if she goes in for the politics and social conflicts, India will die." This was a wonderful thought uttered by Swamiji. At 7 p.m., Swamiji went to his room and asked one of his attendants he was not to be disturbed anymore. After an hour of dhyana and japa, he called his disciple to open all the windows and later to fan his head. Swamiji laid down quietly. An hour later, his hands trembled a little and he breathed heavily twice in a couple of minutes. Swami's eyes became fixed in the center of his eyebrows, and with a divine expression, the eternal silence fell. There was, said a brother disciple of Swamiji, a little blood in his nostrils, about his mouth, and in his eyes. According to the yoga scriptures, the life breath of an illumined yogi passes out through the opening on the top of the head, causing the blood to flow in the nostrils and of the mouth. The brother disciples thought that he might have fallen into samadhi, and later chanted the master's name just to bring him back to his consciousness. But Swami remained on his back motionless. The doctors were sent for, and after the thorough examination, the doctor opined and said, life was only suspended, and artificial respiration was also tried. At the midnight, he was pronounced death, approximately, or sudden failure of the heart. The moment was there that had been foretold by his master from the beginning. At 9:10 p.m., at sharp 9:10 p.m., on the wings of the meditation, Swami's spirit soared whence there would be no return from him, and the body was left all over like a folded vestiture on the earth. This is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi that his Gurudeva Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa told him about. Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had said, "This is your mango. O Naren, look at it. I lock it in my box. You shall only taste it once more when your work is all finished." And he waited, for he knew that his time was near for this. He also said this: for centuries to come, people everywhere will be inspired by Swami Vivekananda's message. Oh man, first realize that you are one with Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi, and then realize that the whole universe is verily the same Brahman. It's all Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma. Namo Namaha.